6 months ago, Sheikh Hasina, the former leader of Bangladesh, was ousted from power. She is accused of overseeing a state-run system of secret detention centres where people were held, many tortured, some killed. She's now in exile in India. Just how confident are you that she will stand trial?
She will stand trial, there's no doubt about that, because all the evidences are here. But she's not physically present in Bangladesh. So the question is, can we make her present in Bangladesh? That depends on India and also international law guiding all this system, how it works. So we'll be already asked India to hand over Hasina to Bangladesh to face the trial. So the question of trial is not if it will be happening in absentia or in her presence. It will be taking place, not only her, and all the people who were associated with her family members, her clans, her associates, and all the oligarchs, people who promoted her, supported her, made her the way she is.
Do you believe she was an architect of a secret system that tortured its victims? And are you surprised by how many of these sites appear to have been uncovered now?
Horror stories are usually entertaining things for people. So this is a real thing. And one person and her whole administration dedicated to that, doing that every day. I don't think history ever had that kind of person. You hear about oppressive leaders and so on, not of the kind that Hasina stood up.
You've asked India, made clear you want her back. Have you had any official response yet?
I would say no, no official response, but we are waiting for that response.
Are you hopeful?
I hope so, if the law requires that. I mean, it's a legal issue. If legally they are required to send her to Bangladesh, I think it's international law will guide that decision.
Are you having tough conversations with New Delhi?
We have sent formal letters, so not conversations, but formal letters to make sure that it is understood.
You recently, personally, visited Ainaka, the House of Mirrors, this infamous, ultimate torture chamber that was hidden from the public for so long. Were you shocked by what you saw?
Shock will be a very mild word in a situation like that, when you see things and you've been hearing about it, you've met those people who suffered through those most heinous thing you can imagine a human being can do to another human being. It's just the ugliest thing that you can see, you can feel, you can observe.
Investigators do now say there are hundreds of sites like the House of Mirrors across the country. The families of the disappeared, some are desperate to get inside these locations. Why haven't they been able to get access yet?
This is within the police territory or army territory, so they have not opened it to the public yet, because this will create a bad response from the army and so on. Those kind of fear that the public gets into the cantonment area where they live, the army people live. So they are restricting those areas, but we have decided to make it a museum so that public can come in.
There are arrest warrants for Sheikh Hasina and her aides, but she's in exile. Others have fled the country, and there are some of the alleged perpetrators still working in the system. What's the delay in those arrests for those responsible?
Everybody was involved in it. Whole government was involved in it. So you cannot distinguish who is really enthusiastically doing it, really doing it under orders, not quite supportive, but carrying out those kind of things. So those are the things which are taking time.
In July and August, there were deadly protests. The UN now says as many as 1,400 people were killed in those days before Sheikh Hasina fled. Will the families of the victims see justice in your administration?
We are trying. We cannot guarantee because we are a short-lived government because legal process is very slow. So we cannot push it either. So we are identifying, we're letting them go through the process. Some will get punished, some will still be under the process, some will still be untraceable, trying to find out where that person is, what happened to that person, and so on. So I would say we'll do our best to do as many as possible during our time, but many of them will be in progress in the situation. They didn't get the punishment yet, but they're going through the process.
Tulip Siddiq was Britain's former anti-corruption minister, but she recently resigned after growing pressure over an anti-corruption probe here in Bangladesh, where she's being investigated. Do you think she should be extradited?
If she's proven, and again, there's a legal issue. If she still has a Bangladeshi passport, I guess she doesn't have a Bangladeshi passport, she will be UK citizenship. So whether we can bring back a UK citizen for trial in Bangladesh, and so those are issues I'm not very clear about.
Do you think, though, that this is a serious case that does warrant further investigation?
Oh yes, our Anti-Corruption Commission is taking it very seriously. She has so many wealth left behind here, and they will check everything and see how she should be made responsible.
A huge issue for you is the Rohingya refugee crisis. There's been talk of establishing a humanitarian corridor from Bangladesh to Myanmar to enable the repatriation of Rohingya back to their home. Are you in talks with rebels in Myanmar to make this happen?
We have contacts with them because there's a new inflow of Rohingyas coming to Bangladesh. So we had to deal with their army on the border to allow them to easy or systematic way of entering, because we need to have their biometrics done so that they don't disappear within the country. And one thing that we started discussing with the international organizations, can you help them to keep them on the other side? Do everything that you do on this side, but it will be on the other side, so that they are not pouring into Bangladesh territory. So this is what the safe zone idea came. And we said, we'll cooperate if you want to take any resources to take care of them.
Are you worried about the violence in the camps?
Oh, there's lots of violence, lots of drugs, lots of paramilitary activities inside the camps. So those kind of things. It's not an easy thing. This tension will not disappear.